Welcome back to Breakfast Central on News Central TV. Now today we start with Africa as South Africa celebrates its Freedom Day. It's 27 years since the country marked its first democratic elections, releasing it from oppressive apartheid rule. For millions of South Africans who never had the right to vote before, this signaled the transformation of the country into a non-racial democratic society.
But for many, this has only been freedom in name. Now, we reflect on some of the challenges that South Africa still faces 27 years on. And joining us today is South African journalist and editor Candice Bailey to talk about democracy in South Africa and its walk to freedom in the last 2.5 decades. Good morning, Candice. Welcome back to Breakfast Central.
Morning, Breakfast Central.
Good morning. Okay, so let's start with the very first question, talking about the mood and excitement in the country. What is the exact mood in the country today as we speak?
Well, Lucia, I think it's more bittersweet this morning. It's our second Freedom Day as a suffering under a pandemic. And I think what the pandemic has really highlighted is that we are still a society of haves and have-nots. South Africa, I think, is a beautiful and a comfortable country for those who have, but for those who don't have, I think South Africa still presents itself as a challenge for them. I don't think that they have easy access to things, and it's really a pity that is the case. But I think for in general, there is quite a somber mood today.
All right, Candice. So what are some of the challenges, facing the country that they're going to be reflecting on today, being Freedom Day in the country?
Look, Lisa, I think if I could put them into 5 categories.
Okay.
Our public healthcare system is really a challenge in terms of people being able to access quality healthcare. That's really not happening as it should be happening. Public schooling in South Africa is also still a challenge. There are lots of schools, particularly in rural areas, where infrastructure is not proper. Teachers don't have classrooms, they don't have the necessary equipment to do what they need to do. Poverty is still a very big issue. Poverty and inequality. South Africa is one of the most unequal societies in the world. And really that comes through on a daily basis. That poverty and that inequality is also always categorized along racial lines. So the bottom 60% of our country still lives off social handouts, which is really terrible. It's a travesty.
All right. Okay. Please go on.
Sorry, Oli. Last thing I want to put together is corruption. We still have high levels of corruption in our society. Thanks.
Okay, so now we've spoken about the challenges. Can we really say that South Africans can have good stories to tell on this particular day, being Freedom Day?
There is a good news story to tell. There always is. I think that the narrative of Nelson Mandela's Rainbow Nation has really shone through over the last 27 years, and that is a beautiful story. We've got the most beautiful constitution in the world. It embodies really beautiful rights and freedoms for everybody. But at the same time, the inequality still shines through, and I think that that's something that South Africa really needs to work on and really needs to deal with over the next 27 years.
All right, Candice, you just mentioned, the Rainbow Nation legacy of the late Nelson Mandela, clearly an African world great. Now, 27 years on, today is Freedom Day. Is the government doing enough, to help citizens enjoy the freedoms that the South African Constitution, which you just mentioned, that is beautiful, is guaranteed?
I think the government must firstly be commended for what it's done to date. I think that they have made significant strides in creating society where we do have better services and amenities. But as Amnesty International, for example, just released a statement this morning saying that the government really needs to do more, prioritize South Africans and make sure that their basic human rights are met. And I think that is the message that we need to go forward with this morning, is that the government can do more. And it needs to do more to make sure that all South Africans live in this free and equal society in the way it was envisioned.
All right, Candice Bailey, regular on Breakfast Central and indeed on News Central. Thank you once again for giving us what's the mood like today, Freedom Day in South Africa. We say congratulations to you and other South Africans. Enjoy Freedom Day.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you. Right then, still on top stories right here on Breakfast Central. you.